Life is not patient. It does not pause for anyone to catch their breath. It does not wait until you feel ready, and it certainly does not give out second chances without cost. Every single sunrise hands you the exact same choice it hands every other person alive. Will you step forward, or will you stand still? Will you grow into the person you know you can be, or will you shrink back into the comfort of routine and mediocrity? That choice determines not just how your day unfolds, but how your future is built. Because life doesn't shape itself in grand moments once or twice a year. It shapes itself in the small choices you make daily, in the mindset you cultivate when nobody is watching, and in the battles you fight inside your own mind. What people often overlook is that your mind is not just a place where thoughts float around like clouds. Your mind is the battleground of your life. It is where every victory is won before the world even sees it, and it is also where every defeat begins long before it shows up in reality. When you wake up each morning, before your feet even hit the floor, the war has already started. The whispers of doubt are waiting for you, telling you you're not enough, reminding you of yesterday's failures, pulling you back into old patterns. Fear creeps in, quietly but steadily, pushing you to stay safe, to avoid risk, to settle for less. The pain from yesterday tries to set the tone for today, as if your past deserves the right to define your future. But in that moment, your choice becomes clear. You either feed those voices, or you starve them. You either let fear dominate your spirit, or you train your mind to rise above it. A strong mindset is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Just like a soldier doesn't walk into battle without training, you cannot expect to face life's challenges without conditioning your thoughts. Discipline your mind like a warrior disciplines his body, and watch how your circumstances begin to change. Most people want success, but they think it's something that just happens. They look at those who achieve great things and assume they were lucky, or they had some secret advantage. But the truth is, success is not a matter of luck. It is forged. It is beaten into existence the same way metal is hammered into a sword. Pressure shapes it, failure hardens it, fire refines it, and that fire does not come to destroy you. It comes to burn away what doesn't belong, to purify you until what remains is stronger than ever before. The problem is that most people see the fire and run. They see the pressure and quit. They meet failure and assume that means they are not good enough. But the ones who rise above are the ones who see failure as part of the process, who see the fire as the very tool that will shape them into greatness. Think about the people we look back on as world changers. They were not born different from you. They were not born invincible. What set them apart was their refusal to quit. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times in his pursuit of the light bulb. Each attempt that didn't work was not the end. It was another step closer to discovery. Most people would have given up after 10 tries, maybe 100. Edison faced thousands and still said, "I have not failed. I've just found another way that doesn't work." That mindset, that grit, is the difference. He did not see failure as a stop sign. He saw it as a stepping stone. He understood what so many people refuse to accept, that greatness is not found in avoiding pain or skipping struggle, but in pressing forward regardless. The mind you carry into each day matters more than the circumstances you face. You can have every advantage in the world, but if your mind is weak, those advantages will slip right through your fingers. You can have every disadvantage stacked against you, but if your mind is strong, you can turn setbacks into comebacks. The strength of your mindset will always determine the strength of your future. That is why you cannot allow your mind to run on autopilot. You must feed it with intention, because just like the body needs food, your spirit and your mind need nourishment. Feed your mind with doubt and you will shrink. Feed your mind with faith and you will expand. Speak words of defeat to yourself and you will walk like a defeated person. Speak words of power, vision, and belief and you will walk like someone destined to rise. Every person faces moments when giving up feels easier than going on. Every person feels the weight of exhaustion, discouragement, and fear. But those who reach the top, the athletes, the leaders, the innovators, the creators, they are not people who avoided those feelings. They are people who felt them fully and decided to keep going anyway. They understood that pain does not have to be an ending. It can be transformed into fuel. They used heartbreak as motivation. They turned rejection into a reason to try harder. They transformed moments of despair into opportunities to grow hungrier for the dream. That is the warrior mindset, the refusal to let life dictate terms to you, the unshakable belief that you are capable of more than your circumstances suggest. When you choose to master your mind, you are not promising yourself an easy life. You are promising yourself a meaningful one. You are saying, I will not be controlled by fear. I will not be broken by failure. I will not settle for mediocrity. That kind of decision changes everything because it shifts how you respond to the storms. The storm will come. The question is not whether you will face challenges, but how you will face them. A weak mind drowns in the rain. A strong mind learns to dance in it. A weak mind collapses under pressure. A strong mind uses pressure to become sharper, wiser, stronger. The truth most people don't want to admit is that excuses are always easier than discipline. It is easier to say, I can't. It is easier to blame your past, your environment, or your lack of resources. It is easier to convince yourself that other people had it better, that they knew some secret you didn't. But the only real secret is that they showed up with discipline when no one else did. They worked when no one was watching. They spoke life over themselves when no one else believed in them. They refused to let doubt write their story. They decided day after day that their mindset was going to be stronger than their circumstances. That is the beginning of greatness. It does not start with money or opportunity or talent. It starts in the mind. It starts with the decision to master your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts master you. It starts with the willingness to train your mind daily, to push back against fear, to silence the lies, to fuel your vision with faith. And when you do, your life begins to shift. Doors you never thought could open start to crack. Strength you never believed you had begins to rise. A future you once thought impossible begins to look like destiny. And all of it flows from the battlefield of your mind. Discipline is the dividing line between those who dream and those who achieve. Excuses are cheap and they are everywhere. The world will hand them to you daily, wrapped in comfort, disguised as logic, delivered with a smile. You're too tired today. You'll start tomorrow. You deserve a break. These voices sound kind, but they are thieves. They steal your time, your energy, your momentum, and eventually your destiny. The truth is, every time you choose an excuse, you weaken the foundation of your future. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen it. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not come with applause. It often comes in silence, in the dark hours when no one is watching, when no one is clapping for you, when no one will even know what you sacrificed. But that is where true greatness is born, away from the spotlight, in the hidden places, through consistency that few are willing to endure. Most people want the reward but refuse to embrace the process. They want the body without the workouts, the wealth without the grind, the influence without the sacrifice. They want harvest without planting seeds, results without discipline. But the universe does not bend for laziness. It does not honor shortcuts. It only responds to the law of sowing and reaping. What you plant in discipline, you will harvest in success. What you plant in excuses, you will reap in regret. That is why the most powerful decision you can make is to commit to showing up daily. No matter how you feel, no matter what obstacles rise. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline builds empires. Pain is inevitable, but discipline teaches you how to use pain instead of running from it. Every moment of discomfort, every drop of sweat, every restless night where you chose to push forward instead of lying down, it all becomes a tool that sharpens you. Think about the athlete who trains when the body screams to stop, the writer who keeps typing when the words feel stuck, the entrepreneur who continues building when failure seems constant. They all understand the same truth. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Discipline is not about ignoring pain. It is about respecting it as part of the price for greatness. If gold must endure fire to be purified, why would you expect your journey to be different? Your struggles are not punishment. They are the furnace shaping you into the person strong enough to carry your destiny. Every champion you admire has lived this reality. They weren't carried to the top on wings of luck or privilege. They climbed through discipline. When others slept, they worked. When others partied, they studied. When others doubted, they stayed consistent. Success is rarely explosive. It is mostly the quiet accumulation of small wins that discipline makes possible. One workout, one page written, one call made, one extra hour of practice. Alone, these things seem insignificant. Together, over time, they build momentum so powerful that the world cannot ignore it. People will call it talent, they will call it gift, but you will know the truth. It was discipline. Excuses disguise themselves as comfort, but they are chains. They promise ease but deliver regret. Comfort is seductive because it feels safe, but it is also dangerous because it kills progress. Think about it. How many dreams die not because the dreamer lacked talent, but because they chose comfort over discipline? How many lives remain average not because greatness was impossible, but because it was inconvenient? Discipline demands more of you, but it also gives more to you. Excuses take everything and give nothing back. That is why people who live by discipline may feel the sting of sacrifice today, but they taste the sweetness of fulfillment tomorrow. Those who live by excuses feel the sweetness of comfort today, but they drink the bitterness of regret tomorrow. To live with discipline is to live with vision. You cannot keep showing up daily if you don't have a clear picture of what you're working for. Vision fuels discipline, and discipline protects vision. Without vision, you wander. Without discipline, vision dies. Together, they create a force unstoppable by excuses. When your dream burns in your chest like fire, discipline becomes less about punishment and more about devotion. You are no longer just working hard. You are honoring the future version of yourself, the one who deserves to live free, strong, and fulfilled. Every time you resist excuses and choose discipline, you are casting a vote for that future self. You are saying, I believe in you enough to suffer for you today. It will not be easy, and it is not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would achieve greatness. If it were easy, success would have no value. It is precisely because it is hard that it matters. Discipline is the gatekeeper. It separates those who almost did from those who actually did, those who almost lived from those who truly lived. You cannot fake it. You cannot bypass it. You cannot talk your way around it. You either put in the work daily or you don't, and your results will always tell the truth. The world is filled with voices telling you to take the easy way. Advertisements promise quick results. Society praises overnight success. People around you might even say you're wasting your time, that you should relax, that you're too serious. But remember this, the easy way now always becomes the hard way later. The hard way now always becomes the easy way later. When you discipline yourself to do the difficult things today, you buy yourself freedom tomorrow. But when you chase ease today, you lock yourself into chains tomorrow. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about freedom. The freedom to live without regret, to live with choices instead of limitations, to live with strength instead of weakness. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is not intelligence, not luck, not connections. It is discipline. Intelligence can fail you, luck can leave you, connections can break, but discipline is always within your control. You can decide today, right now, that no excuse will own you anymore. You can decide that your feelings will not dictate your future. You can decide that your habits will reflect your vision, not your fears. This choice does not require perfect circumstances. It does not require perfect timing. It does not require anything other than your willingness to show up consistently. That is the gift of discipline. It is available to everyone, but only claimed by the few. So when you feel like quitting, when you feel the weight of exhaustion, when you feel the pull of excuses, remind yourself what is at stake. Remind yourself that every small choice matters. Remind yourself that greatness is not built in bursts, but in steady steps. Remind yourself that pain is temporary, but fulfillment lasts forever. And remind yourself that discipline is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to be. Walk that bridge daily. and eventually you will look back and realize you have built a life others only dream about. A warrior is not someone who has never felt pain, never shed tears, or never questioned their strength. A warrior is someone who refuses to let those moments define them. To carry a warrior spirit means to embrace struggle as part of the journey, to see obstacles not as walls but as stepping stones. It is not about being unbreakable. It is about rising every time you are broken. Life will test you. It will strike at your weaknesses. It will exploit your doubts. It will whisper that you are not enough. But the warrior within you knows that weakness is not the end. It is the beginning. Weakness is where strength is born, where courage is forged, where resilience takes root. Every scar tells a story, and every story adds to your power. The difference between those who live as victims and those who live as warriors is not in the challenges they face, but in how they respond to them. Everyone faces loss, rejection, betrayal, failure. These things do not discriminate, but where one person collapses under the weight of defeat, the warrior tightens their grip and pushes forward, not because it is easy, not because it doesn't hurt, but because they understand that pain is fuel. Warriors don't wait for life to get easier. They get stronger. They don't ask for lighter burdens. They build broader shoulders. They don't pray for storms to vanish. They learn how to sail through them. The spirit of a warrior is built in silence, in moments when no one is there to cheer, when no one is there to encourage, when no one is watching. It is when you decide, alone, that quitting is not an option. It is when you wipe your own tears, when you speak strength into your own soul, when you refuse to believe the lie that you are finished. The world often looks at warriors and sees only the victory, the glory, the triumph. But behind that triumph are countless battles fought in secret. Behind that victory are nights of wrestling with doubt, mornings of pushing through fatigue, moments of wanting to surrender but choosing to stand. That choice to stand when surrender feels easier is what creates legends. Being a warrior does not mean you will never fall. It means you will never stay down. Every fall is an opportunity to rise stronger. Every failure is an invitation to learn. Every setback is preparation for a comeback. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be relentless. You will bleed, you will stumble, you will question yourself. But if you keep moving, if you refuse to give up, you become unstoppable. The most dangerous opponent is not the one who never loses. It is the one who refuses to quit. That is the essence of the warrior spirit. Persistence that outlasts pain, courage that outshines fear, faith that overcomes doubt. Fear will always try to cage you, but warriors understand that fear is not a wall, it is a signal. Fear is proof that you are moving in the right direction towards something that matters. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. When you act in the presence of fear, you reclaim your power. Every time you take one more step, every time you face the thing that terrifies you, fear loses its grip and your warrior spirit grows stronger. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable because you refuse to bow down. A warrior also knows that battles are not only external. Some of the fiercest fights happen within the mind. The fight against doubt, against procrastination, against despair, against the voice that says you can't. These invisible battles shape your destiny more than any outside circumstance. That is why the warrior sharpens their mind daily, feeding it with strength, with faith, with discipline. You cannot win the war outside if you have already surrendered inside. Guarding your thoughts, controlling your focus, speaking life into your soul. These are not small things, they are weapons. And when you master them, no enemy can destroy you, because the true battlefield has already been won. The warrior's spirit is not selfish. It is not about glory alone. It is about purpose. A true warrior fights not only for themselves, but for what they believe in, for the people they love, for the vision planted inside them. Purpose gives strength to endure what others cannot. Purpose fuels perseverance when nothing else makes sense. When you know why you are fighting, you can face anyhow. The warrior's heart beats not just for survival, but for meaning. That is why warriors inspire others, because they stand for something greater than themselves. Their courage awakens courage. Their resilience awakens resilience. Their persistence awakens persistence in those around them. You do not need armor or a sword to be a warrior. You do not need a battlefield of blood and smoke. Your battlefield may be the classroom, the workplace, the home, the lonely nights where you wrestle with yourself. Your weapons are your discipline, your vision, your unshakable spirit. Your victory is not measured in trophies but in transformation. Every day you conquer excuses, every day you silence fear, every day you choose to rise again, you are living as a warrior. The world may never give you recognition for those small wins, but one day, when you look back, you will see how those battles built your strength, how those choices built your character, how that spirit carried you further than you ever thought possible. There will be people who misunderstand your fight. They will call you stubborn, obsessive, unrealistic. They will laugh at your struggles. They will doubt your vision. They will say you should quit. But remember, they are not warriors. They speak from a place of surrender. Do not take advice from those who gave up on themselves. Do not let their limitations shape your destiny. The warrior spirit is not common. It is rare, it is costly, it is misunderstood. But it is also the only path to true greatness. If you want what few have, you must be willing to do what few will do. That means fighting battles others avoid, carrying weights others drop, walking paths others fear. At the end of your life, the warrior spirit will not be measured by how easy your journey was, but by how fiercely you fought. It will not be defined by how often you avoided pain, but by how often you rose after it. The legacy of a warrior is not in perfection, but in perseverance. It is in the scars that prove you survived, in the lessons that prove you grew, in the victories that prove you endured. To live as a warrior is to live fully, refusing to surrender to mediocrity, refusing to bow to fear, refusing to die without ever truly living. So stand tall in your struggle, embrace your pain, wipe your tears and keep moving. Let every failure feed your fire, let every setback sharpen your resolve, let every fear remind you that you are alive, that you are moving, that you are becoming. You are not weak for hurting, you are not broken for bleeding, you are not finished for falling. You are a warrior, and warriors rise, again and again and again. Every dream planted inside you carries a purpose. It is not an accident, not a random thought, not a meaningless fantasy. It was given to you for a reason, a vision written into the fabric of your soul long before you could doubt it. But vision is fragile when it is first born. It is like a seed, small, hidden, and easily ignored. It does not look like much in the beginning, but if you protect it, nurture it, and feed it, it grows into something powerful. Too many people abandon their vision when it feels invisible. Too many give up because the seed has not yet broken the soil. But vision requires faith before evidence. You must believe it before you see it, because if you wait to see proof before you commit, the dream will wither in your hands. Faith must speak louder than fear, and purpose must roar louder than excuses. Every great accomplishment began as an unseen seed. The world may laugh at your dream, they may call it impossible, they may dismiss it as fantasy. But their doubt is not your destiny, their disbelief does not define your future, your vision does not belong to them. It belongs to you. You were chosen to carry it, you were chosen to protect it, you were chosen to give it life. The danger is not in other people rejecting your vision. The danger is in you rejecting it yourself. Fear will tell you it is too late. Doubt will tell you that you are not enough. But your vision was not placed inside you to be ignored. It was planted so that you could rise into the person you were created to be. Every morning you wake up is another opportunity to water that seed. The choices you make daily either feed your vision or starve it. When you give time to your goals, when you discipline your habits, when you guard your focus, you are watering the seed. When you waste your energy on distractions, when you trade consistency for comfort, when you listen to voices of negativity, you are starving it. A vision grows when it is protected. It dies when it is neglected. The warrior within you must become a gardener as well, pulling out weeds of doubt, planting seeds of discipline, exposing the dream to the light of faith. You cannot treat your vision casually and expect it to transform your life. You must treat it with reverence as something sacred, because it is sacred. It is a piece of your destiny calling you forward. If you honor it, if you fight for it, if you align your life with it, it will reward you with transformation. Too many people trade their vision for comfort, and in doing so, they trade greatness for mediocrity. But the price of mediocrity is regret, and regret is the heaviest weight a person can carry. When you choose purpose over comfort, you choose a life without regret. You choose to step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. Your vision will demand sacrifice. It will ask you to give up things others cling to. It will ask you to walk alone at times, to endure misunderstanding, to embrace seasons of isolation. But this is not punishment, it is preparation. The bigger the vision, the deeper the preparation. Gold is refined in fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Seeds grow in darkness before they break into the light. If you are in a season of fire, pressure, or darkness, it is not because you are forgotten. It is because you are being formed. Hold your vision close, even when you can't see results, even when progress feels invisible, even when the world doubts you. Vision is for those who endure. There will be voices trying to silence your dream, not because it is impossible, but because it threatens their comfort. Your courage will expose their fear, your persistence will highlight their surrender, your discipline will mirror their excuses, and instead of rising, some will choose to mock you. Do not be distracted. Do not waste your strength convincing those who have already given up on themselves. Keep your eyes on the vision. Protect it as you would a flame in the wind. Do not let gossip, doubt, or failure blow it out. If you keep it burning, even when it flickers, it will eventually grow strong enough to light your entire path. Mastering your mornings is one of the most powerful ways to honor your vision. The way you begin your day shapes the way you live your day. A warrior of vision rises with intention, not by accident. The first words you speak, the first thoughts you allow, the first actions you take, these are seeds. Plant strength in your mornings, and you will reap power in your nights. Plant doubt in your mornings, and you will reap excuses in your nights. Start your day sharpening your mind, aligning with your purpose, and feeding your vision. Small disciplines compound into massive results. Greatness is not built in one grand moment, but in thousands of small victories repeated daily. Your vision is your compass. Without it, you wander. With it, you endure storms. You survive deserts. You climb mountains. Purpose gives you direction when the road gets hard. Purpose gives you fuel when energy runs low. When everything in you wants to quit, purpose whispers, "Keep going, this matters." That whisper is often the only thing separating the victorious from the defeated. It is not talent alone, not resources, not opportunities that carry people to success. It is vision rooted in purpose. The kind of vision that refuses to die, even when buried under failure, even when mocked by critics, even when ignored by the world. One day, if you stay faithful, the seed you planted will break through the soil. What was once invisible will become undeniable. What was once doubted will become celebrated. What was once mocked will become admired. And in that moment, you will realize the power of vision was not only in achieving the dream, but in becoming who you had to become to carry it. The journey itself transforms you, sharpens you, elevates you. That is the hidden gift of vision. It shapes your destiny while pulling you toward your dream. Never forget, the vision inside you was placed there with intention. It is not too late. You are not too weak. You are not disqualified. Everything you need is already within you, waiting to be awakened. Protect your vision like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. A life without vision is just survival, but a life with vision is legacy. When you pursue it, protect it, and live it, you do not just change your own story. You change the stories of those who come after you. So rise each day with faith. Speak life over your vision. Work on it relentlessly, even when progress feels slow. Refuse to surrender it to fear. Refuse to bury it under excuses. Refuse to let it die in your hands. You were born with purpose, born with greatness inside you, born with a vision that matters. And when you honor that vision, you will live not just a life, but a legacy. You will prove that faith is stronger than fear, that discipline is stronger than excuses, that vision is stronger than doubt, and in doing so, you will awaken the greatness that was always waiting within you.